Hello, my name is Alex and in this video I'll show you how to transition from Windows XP to Windows Vista. First, you will need to upgrade your OS in order to install Windows Vista, and I'm also going to be showing you how to install updates, patches, etc. for the operating system to run. First, I have my Windows Vista ISO file ready. No, I deleted the ISO file because I choose to stay in Windows XP, but I've kept the installation files in a backup folder, which is USB backup, and that is the folder which you're going to use to upgrade to Windows Vista. Okay, and I'll drag the instrument desktop off my virtual machine. Well, I'll drag this, there we go. And it will copy the files, but only in the whole folder to make it look slim, into the Windows XP virtual machine for the operating system to run. That's how you can install Windows Vista while keeping editing files. It's going to be copying boot.wim file. When it's all done, I'll be showing you the process of updating to Windows Vista. And by when I'll pause the video until the process is complete. And this is the folder which I have moved it to the virtual machine. And inside this folder you'll find the Windows Vista ISO file, installation files, but those files which I have moved to this folder in my host PC is that my PC is an HP PC and I'm thinking of upgrading from Windows XP to Windows Vista on my PC, but I'll delete those files on the virtual machine screen as it's not a physical PC. I'll delete those. Now if you got an HP or an Acer or a Dell PC, you can install drivers with driver pack utility, or you can download the drivers manually for Windows Vista to run. The audio drivers, network and CPU, keyboard and mouse drivers, but even if it's keyboard and mouse is detected by the PC CPU, and other things that you need to do like installing software, updates, etc. and even an antivirus software which is recommended with the Super Mini web browser for Windows Vista to properly run into your PC. But as I'm using a virtual machine, I'll run the setup directly. I'll run the setup. Next, you will need to ensure that you install the Windows Vista setup. Go ahead and install it now, and the screen will display on your PC, but it's displaying on my virtual machine screen. And then check mark. I want to make Windows installation better. Just go ahead and click on Do Not Go Listen for installation, because Windows Vista is no longer receiving updates and patches, etc., which is considered and that is most people's opinion. But that's not my opinion, because nothing wrong happens to my use when I use Windows XP or Windows Vista or even Windows 2000 or Windows 98. And your computer will be connected to the internet, and mine is connected to the internet, which is that virtual machine, because I found it that the internet is working on my system, and that's going to be starting, and it's loading the installation again. Wait for it to come up. Okay, you need to enter your product key to install the operating system. But as I'm using a pre-activated version of Windows Vista, I will click on No to proceed. And you'll be selected, and you'll be prompted to agree to the license terms, and click on Custom Advanced. Select Disk 0 partition. See? I will select Load Driver to install. I will select the VMware drivers. Go to the drivers, SCSI, click on OK, and then click on Next. When you're done installing the driver, (815) MB free space. Now first, no, I should not pause it. I will and I'll power off the virtual machine. I'll power it off. Okay, and we're going to edit virtual machine settings. Next, what you need to do is to go to the hard disk and then go to have a hard disk. Okay, I need to increase the hard drive, but I'll increase the memory for the or change it to 1024 megabytes. and I should try the upgrades. No, I should try Microsoft Virtual PC instead, because I think that will accept installing Windows Vista on the software. And when you go, I found Microsoft Virtual PC. I'll find my Windows XP virtual machine. I'll start the VM. And the installation then should work. I'll show you. This is currently running on Windows Vista theme. Okay, now I'll uninstall the transmission pack. I'll rename the file because the file was too long when I was installing the thing when in the desktop. I'll quickly uninstall that file when I'm done. I'll show you the process to install Windows Vista. And I'm done uninstalling the Windows Vista transmission pack frame, and I'll upgrade to Windows Vista. I'll upgrade to Windows XP to Windows Vista. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my desktop and I'll go to my folder, then I'll copy the Vista upgrade to the VM. It's containing all of my files that I needed to upgrade my host PC. But I'll delete those files again and even the media files which I needed for my host PC to upgrade to Windows Vista, because I wanted to keep the data on the virtual machine, because I will be upgrading to Windows Vista as this VM is not a host PC. Instead, it is just a virtual machine which you can use to upgrade. There's no internet on this, that's why I'll continue with our updates, and I'll pause this video until this process is done copying the files and the folder itself, and it's done. I've changed my wallpaper on my host PC. We're not going to talk about that. I'll talk about transitioning to Windows Vista from Windows XP. I'll delete those files as well as the music folder, because those 3 files are only from my host PC to upgrade to Windows Vista, because that is the files that I'm going to use to upgrade my host PC to Windows Vista. But I'm sticking with Windows XP for the long term. I will install now. And as you can see here, it is installing Windows Vista. It was 512 megabytes is required for the VM for the installation to run. Now I'll turn off the VM. I'll close this. I'll go to settings. When in memory, I'll adjust to 512 megs. 512 megs. I will adjust to 1024 megabytes. That's the highly recommended for the OS to run, to install on the virtual machine. I'll pause this bit until this is done. Now my video only took 17 minutes to complete because it took a very long time to upgrade, but that's okay. It happens in many videos, but the process is successful. And we're done. We can now upgrade to Windows Vista and you know, can take part of upgrading it, but I'll decrease the icon size because to 28, and those are no 20 is not enough. I'll increase it to 31. Okay. The icons is still not showing on the virtual machine because when I upgrade it, it automatically adjusts the icons to the larger size. Now if I decrease the icons, it will make it will be much more difficult to see the icons after upgrading to Windows Vista on the PC. I will try to adjust those icons, and there we go. I will now upgrade to Windows Vista, and I will now try to, you know, upgrade it directly to Windows Vista. Close this off, and you know, I need to click on the exit. I'll install now to install Windows Vista. I'll check mark this again. As there's no internet, I'll click on do not get this resolution. I will select no, I do not want to mark product key. And in the window to agree to license terms, you need to check mark I accept license agreement terms. Go next, then click on upgrades. Now this is the fast forward method. Click on upgrades, and you know, it will be able to upgrade the OS. It's checking compatibility. And then this one here. And these issues do not prove the upgrade, but some applications and all devices will work once the upgrade is complete. Click on next, and then it's going to be upgrading Windows. It's copying the Windows files. Next, it's going to be gathering the files, expanding the files, installing features and updates, completing upgrade. Next, it will be able to upgrade the OS in order to function. Before upgrading, if you're using a PC, on a physical PC, you will need to go to my computer. I'll show you my host PC. Double click on local disk C, and you need to find the program data folder, because it will require you to delete that. Just delete the program data folder, because it is a temporary file and it's found in other systems like mine did. And when you do that, the installation will allow you to upgrade. And it's now 10% of your upgrade, and I will pause this bit until the installation is done. The process is much more faster, but it will take several hours to complete the upgrade. And do not turn off your computer when doing the upgrade. Remember that. Do not turn off your system during the update. Do not turn off your system. Now the reason why is because when you turn off or unplug your PC, then the upgrade interrupts itself, then you'll be booting back to Windows XP, or you'll be dealing with an unbootable system that needs repair. But most of I think that it's going to be booting back to Windows XP rather than making the system unbootable. Now, but other people believe that it does not happen. Instead, it is unbootable. But in my opinion, I think that it boots into Windows XP again if it interrupts the upgrade. But we have to check if it's booting to Windows XP or not, or it's unbootable or not. I'll check. Still in this video, I'll do a test of how interrupting an upgrade works. I'll show you a test still in this video to help you guys understand what does this causes to a computer. And that is the reason why you should not turn off your computer during an update. And you will lose all of your applications and everything else. You have to reinstall all of those stuff, and that's not a good thing to do. Okay, you need to continue the upgrade to complete. Then when you install the drivers and you configure the software, everything else, when you start it to use Windows Vista after installing the OS, when you're upgrading, then you can now turn off your computer, then you can log back in, anything you like. But during an upgrade, you should leave the computer alone, and you should let it and allow it to install. But what is this operating system? And I'll pause this bit until this is done. On a physical PC, the installation will be a lot more slower, especially in older hardware, because you don't have enough RAM, and the hard drive, even with compatible with Windows Vista, will perform very slowly to upgrade. It will take more than 4 or 5 hours to complete, or even 3 or 2 hours, but 1 hour is enough. And the quickest method for those upgrades of the operating system, but not the hardware itself, only the OS upgrade that matters. It takes only about 90% and it's increasing, and I'll pause this bit until this process is done installing. It will ask you to restart your PC. Click on restart now, or let it restart. Click on Windows Setup, or press Enter if it's slow, not to perform. Now it is loading the Windows XP, no, Windows Vista boot screen, because the Windows XP boot screen is finished when you upgrade to Windows Vista. It is waiting for the installation to finish, and it's going to be upgrading Windows. and I will go ahead and I'll pause this bit until this process is done and the upgrade is finished. And when it's just to start the system, and when the system is started, you should be able to boot into Windows Vista. Wait for it to start. Click on Microsoft Windows Vista or press enter for this one slowly. But you do not just press enter because the process is very fast. That's why you do not press enter when restarting your computer and loading the hard drive, etc. Now Windows is loading and setting up your computer, and this is normal during the installation process of when you upgrade from Windows XP to Windows Vista. And I'll still pause this bit until this is done. And the mouse cursor has changed. That means the Windows Vista has fully installed. Okay, I'll restart the window and I'll drag the window up to the area to the window selectable, and you will look at the Windows Vista OBE loading. Now Windows is still installing and it's completing the upgrades. When it's done, you will be able to boot into the OBE of Windows Vista. And you can see here the mouse cursor, everything else has changed. When you upgrade to Windows Vista. pause the switch, and then click on Microsoft Windows Vista, and again it automatically picks up the LS options instead of pressing enter. And Windows Vista has booted onto this screen. And upwards bit. That's what it's done. And as I'm on a virtual machine, this window will come up, and so it's not available on this virtual machine. You have to reboot your virtual machine after you have installed Windows Vista and manual operating driver, which is not automatic. And I'll pause the video until we reach the OBE screen. The next thing, after installing it, use recommended settings, time zone, where you live, click on next, select the home network, and then click on start, and Windows Vista will check your computer performance fully to all, and when it's done you should be able to boot into Windows Vista. And Windows Vista has been installed on your PC, but as I'm using a virtual machine, it's installed on my Windows XP virtual PC VM. Now we're starting. Then that means that will determine that your computer is fast enough to reboot. That's why I was doing it. I think it's like that, but allow it to restart. Then I'll show you how to install Microsoft Office, iTunes, and making folders, presentations, and even test documents and presentation of MS Office 2007. I'll make that presentation. And that's like that. Now I will go ahead and pause this bit, and once Windows Vista has been installed, this is the desktop of Windows Vista, I will be installing the install driver software. Continue. It's installing the driver. Wait for it to install, wait for you to say a bit. Click on the don't have the disk, and later install the driver software, I'll go to computer, C drive, and program files. I'll scroll down until I find I don't know where to find. And the last thing, I need to cancel any of the programs which start with Windows running. For example, I have my Windows Vista Rainbow Visual. I will delete those. And what you need to do is you need to exit this program. Exit, and I'll attempt to delete the files. And that's how to upgrade to Windows Vista. And I'll show you how to install Microsoft Office, but I'll change the desktop background. And I've changed the desktop background. I've made a few teams of Windows Vista with a bamboo green line, but I need to still move the files. I've created those. I'll move those files to the desktop. One of the similar documents. Next, I'll go ahead and I'll move it to go to my documents. And I need to move those things as well, but I cannot be allowed to go to that folder which is for Windows XP, because Windows Vista doesn't introduce mandatory security, which is highly protective, rather than Windows XP, which has poor security. Because Windows Vista has high security compared to Windows XP, which has weak and unrestricted security. But Windows XP security is good and stronger, but Windows Vista security is far stronger and highly restrictive than Windows XP's. It introduces UAC, BitLock, Windows Defender, etc., which is crucial for today's computers, and even computers of 2007. But even if they run Windows XP, the majority, a few of them run Windows Vista in 2007 and in 2008. And I'll move those onto this directory. I'll go ahead and I will install the guest additions. I'll select my own web here. Wait for it to come up. Now I'll select the green lime wallpaper. And wait until the theme is ready to go. Click on OK and then close. Next, I'll customize the desktop gadgets. That's the most important thing. Close gadgets. Go to plus sign and then click on the plus icon. In the gadget selection bar, no, the dialog box, select TV meter and Windows calendar. You can see here. Now, when you do that, I will go ahead and install Virtual Machine Editions onto this here. I will install or update. Or run setup.exe. Click on continue. And it's going to be installing. We need to remove this in order to reinstall the drivers, etc., which you needed to install onto it. It will remove the Virtual Machine Editions, and then when it's done, the operating system will reboot, and then I will pause this bit until the uninstallation is complete. I'll resume this, then I'll finish. I'll start this virtual machine. I'll still pause the video. Normal times, then I'll double click on the recorder icon, then I'll pause this bit, and then it's still done. Now what we're going to do is to install. It is going to be installing the driver. or do not show this again message. Continue. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to install update additions. Continue this, and then I will upgrade the software. Virtual machine additions. No, not upgrade. I'll just install. Windows. I will select this close this off. Click on next, and then you should be able to install the guest editions onto the virtual machine. I'll pause a bit until this is done. When it's done, click on finish, and it will start your PC or the virtual machine which you're using. And it should restart. But if it doesn't want to start, click on start, and then click on start. And it should restart the VM. And it's installing the virtual machine editions. And everything else works fine with the virtual machine. And the PC as well, if you have one, running the OS. and that's how to install guest editions. After you've installed one on Windows XP, by upgrading to Windows Vista, then you have to delete and reinstall the VM editions again. That's how to do it. I'll move on to the next part and I will show you how to install updates in Microsoft Office. And I'll show you that.